quality genes in a video talking about Digimon. This might sound a bit weird, but we're going to make the link between genes and Digimon for the simple fact that I believe it is really time that we all start taking Digimon seriously. Welcome to Digi News, I'm Nostalgia925. Have you ever wondered why Digimon are wearing pieces of clothing sometime in their Digivolution? Some would wear belts, like really many belts on their arms or legs. What impressed me the most should probably be those pants they are wearing. Really nice pants. Where Garurumon, I'm almost 200% certain that it is wearing a jeans of the brand Levi's. A jeans brand of extreme good quality. I'm sure where Garurumon would need Levi's jeans considering all those kicks and running it loves to do. Even though when you run, you should rather wear jogging pants like LEOMON's. The Digimon we claimed to be a very strong and badass loser. We discussed that in the video called How Many Times Did LEOMON Die? You better check that video if you haven't already. I'll put the link in the description box. You see, there is an author called Laura Thornton who tried to give us an answer to the following question: what's the deal with all the Digimon in jeans? Maybe a bit about the author. She is an anime and manga lover and has been watching anime for as long as she can remember. That is basically like me and you. She began the article by claiming that jeans is somewhat symbolic of a very specific stage of growing up, namely rebellion. And at the moment you take into account at which Digivolution phase Digimon decide to wear jeans, you might see an interesting pattern. You see, Digimon have about 6 natural Digivolution phases. First, you have the fresh and in training level, which represents the Digimon's baby phase. They are very young, weak, and need to be taken care of. Secondly, you have the rookies, meaning that the Digimon reached the age of children. That is usually when they get really curious, annoying, a bunch of times by the way, and make many small mistakes. But then again, we all make mistakes. Like me! And that one time where I experimented with some friends. We tried to work on a prototype nuclear weapon and blah blah blah. Things exploded, no casualties, thank God, but a whole lot of material damage, and yeah, I would say lessons were learned. I think. Then we have the champion level. I think we should stop here by the way, for a moment, because LEOMON, a champion Digimon, already bought its new pair of jeans. The champion level should be considered as the Digimon becoming a teenager, and that is usually the period where the hormones go wild. The period where youngsters are looking to shape their personalities and might therefore decide to grow a certain grudge against authority and rebel against it. And Miss Laura Thornton said the following: and from these characters, an archetype begins to form of the noble freedom fighter rebelling against the corrupt system, protecting the weak. And this is what LEOMON is all about. It fought and defeated many fiendish Digimon. I say this only to make you understand how corrupt the Digimon system is. When you come to realize that a certain Digimon god called Yggdrasil decided to eliminate 98% of the Digimon population, or when you become aware that a mysterious Digimon organization called the Crack Team was able to study the poison of the Digimon god Bakusmon, only to prepare bacteriological weapons, you might come to understand why the Digimon LEOMON will rebel against authority, and to make sure it does that well, it will wear jeans. The jeans trend of the digital world can clearly be interpreted as visual shorthand to indicate the wearer's key personality traits and desire to rebel. The fact that this usually happens in the champion stage can be likened to teenagedom. We've all been through such a phase. Well, at least some of us. I remember I loved to tell my teachers that I would love to take over the world someday. I don't even know why I said that, and now that I'm an adult and I think about it, I think I still have those same ideas. I guess we never learn. Now, while most Digimon wearing jeans are at the champion level, most would lose them at the ultimate and mega level. The ultimate level comes right after the champion level, And I would say that the ultimate is equivalent to a young adult, meaning either when us humans only just entered college, or when, well, when responsibilities hit hard, as some of us decide to have a child in our teens, either because of pressure, by accident, or by choice. I hope so, at least. And then you're somewhat forced to become a young adult. Trust me, these eyes here have seen a lot. But notice, you can lose your status of teenager, but you will never lose the possibility to wear jeans. That in the least goes for the ultimate Skull MERAMON. Others, like Skull MERAMON, take things to the opposite extreme. Coated in the chains that for other Digimon are just accessories, Skull MERAMON's skinny jeans embody the tight restrictions that cause him to lash out in violent rebellion, often eagerly attacking whenever possible. You see, there's one thing I noticed. Skull MERAMON, as an ultimate, or an adult in human terms, appears to be representing the frustrations of life. As a young adult, you will quickly come to understand that the ideas of invincibility you once had as a teen are not that realistic anymore. And you will feel how society is quietly but certainly trying to color you in a particular color. Or maybe label you. Society will try to drag you down with the subliminal burden of being a citizen. You need to be aware of that, of course. The tight restrictions that Skull MERAMON feels represents the lack of choice given by your community, by your city or country, and sometimes by yourself. Because the human brain has a habit of working against yourselves. What the brain will do is basically convince the owner of that brain that there are no alternatives to the status quo, that you should live your life in one particular way. The way where people dictate how you should live your life, while in reality, I think that you are your own master. And that is why I believe that Skull MERAMON appears to be extremely frustrated, or looks to be representing frustration, a symbol of frustration. But the Digimon cannot be blamed, can it now? Symbolic-wise, I believe it represents us as humans quite well. Sort of like how our hidden voice that we wish to share but do not dare. Now, there is still the Mega level, the last Digimon level. You will barely find a Digimon wearing jeans at that level, and I see that as, well, they have matured. Basically, it means that rebellion is over. They have accepted the normal flow of life, the simple life, should I call it? And you see, many of us tend to do that. Many of us grow tired of fighting. Sure, we complain here and there, but we don't really express that same fighting spirit we once had back where we were teens. And there are 5 reasons I can give you, even though there are many reasons I could share with you, which would explain why we grow tired. We stop fighting and decide to settle for less because 1. You believe this is the best you are going to get, so you're not going to try. You believe you are too late in the game, and nothing will change, so you just stay there like a car that isn't driving. 3. You are stuck, basically in a relationship, a job, maybe you have children or addiction, and that's why you decide not to move. 4. You do not realize you settled for less because of doubts, ill-informed, again, that's the brain. 5. You believe this is the way it is supposed to feel, meaning that you assume that where you are at that particular point is the norm, and it cannot get any better. Right. Well, there is one Digimon at the Mega level who is representing rebellion by wearing jeans. Or some pants, if you want. And I'm talking about Bancho LEOMON, one who fights for its own definition of justice, one who decided to live life according to its own standards. And you know what's awesome? Bancho LEOMON even has a group to get to the point it wants. Meaning that some can still feel that life can be different. There are not many, but there are some who are ready to do the work and make sacrifices to live the life they want. While most abandon their rebellious urges as they grow up, some, like Bancho LEOMON, never let go of their rebellious roots and keep seeking to make the world a better place. We hope they succeed. I sure do hope they succeed. And I, for sure, am going to take inspiration from these Digimon wearing jeans. We do have a lot of pressure in life, and many do not seem to cooperate quite well with that pressure. This ultimately leads to depression and worse, suicide, and I've seen many of these videos, maybe in Japan, in Belgium. It's really horrible. That is why I'm determined to live my life and die like a warrior, than live the rest of my life on my knees, just because I want to feel a bit secure. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to share it and drop a like for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't already, and press the notification bell for more Digimon related content, that way you are on time. Speaking of, the Digimon I mentioned in this video, they have their own dedicated video. You can click on the links in the description box. I'll make sure to put them there. I'll also put the link of my Discord, so make sure to click on it because I guess it expires. And the link towards the article is in the description box. Make sure to read it because it's very interesting, and make sure to buy jeans, okay? And if you guys are all new, all my Digimon videos are placed in different playlists. If you check the title, at the end of the video, I always put a certain number which refers to the playlist and the episode. That way it's easier for you to catch up. I love to bring order in chaos. That's the only way I could control the planet someday, so yeah. And I also want to say thank you to my Patreon supporters. I'm talking about Marin Solar, Nathan Jones, to say the least. A big thank you.